I am going to have a one-on-one. It's a guy from Google.
Hi, can you hear me?
I figured out an easier way to network, guys. Don't have high expectations. Honestly, take them as elements of surprises. Good morning, it's Estie. Today I will be redoing my portfolio. I wish someone can just teach me how to do it. So I'm just gonna look up some tutorials, classes, etc. and I'll work on this. So yeah, someone commented on my first webflow video that typically you create the layout first either on Sketch, Figma, Adobe XD, and then use that as like your guideline, pretty much like the process of developing a website.
Watch, at the end of the day, it's like I messed up and I moved to a template and I regret trying this whole time.
No, every failure leads to one success, and we are working towards that for that one day.
Let's go into content box, and same as we did for the layout, we're going to push in, pull in the padding, and we can do it from the left, but a very easy trick and very handy trick is...
So later tonight I have a call with a DesignLab mentor. I saw a case study on his portfolio with PlayStation, and I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to hear his design process about it. So I reached out to him on LinkedIn and connected, and he at first didn't respond back to me in a while until like a couple weeks later. He was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't get back to you. I'm open for a call. Like, when are you free?" And we decided to meet today. So it's gonna be at 8 p.m. tonight. Yeah, so take advantage of your DesignLab mentor list. Like, if you also want to connect with other mentors, I think that's totally fine. Just go and try. I reached out to another mentor on DesignLab mentor list, and he responded back to me. We both started mentoring not too long ago. I think it's only been like 2 months. So obviously when I first started, they weren't there. So yeah, keep updated with the mentor list, because there's always like new mentors popping up. Even my boss right now started teaching at DesignLab, which is crazy. Yeah, she was like, yeah, like I got 2 students, and then yesterday she was like, yeah, I have 3 students. And so I was like, yeah, that's super exciting. So so many designers are giving back or finding ways to give back this year, and I think that's really, really awesome. So use your resources. Yeah. Hello. In about a couple minutes, 2 minutes, I am going to have a one-on-one. It's a guy from Google, and I saw that he teaches at DesignLab, and so I reached out to him just out of curiosity because I checked out his portfolio, and he has some cool stuff on his portfolio, and they are unfortunately password protected. So I was hoping if he can talk about them, and so I'm kind of nervous. So I even tied my hair in a bun. I put makeup on. Sort of, not really. I mean, I kind of just did my eyebrows and my eyes and put lip tint on, and then I checked my Zoom video and I was like, yo, I put too much lip, and so I like transferred it off onto a tissue. I think this will be a good one. I prepared some questions that I wanted to know, like a fun one. It's, what's your favorite book? And I feel like I like to always add it towards the end. So hopefully if the time doesn't go by too quickly, he can share his favorite book that he will recommend to me, and we'll see if I already have the book or if I need more. It's time! It's time! Okay. He still hasn't joined the call yet. So, okay. So, yeah, I'll check back later. JK, I'm nervous. So how about you guys stay with me until he joins? I'm just waiting. Woo. I don't know why I'm so nervous, guys. I think I developed this like social anxiety since quarantine started. I don't really meet people one-on-ones anymore, so I don't know where he is. He's not here yet. I just sent him an email. Thursday at 8 p.m. Thursday at 8 p.m. Okay. Oh my god, he said he's been in the meeting and then I don't know why. Oh, I think it's working.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello. I washed up, so no more makeup today. Besides the mishap with the beginning, it turned out really well. He's a super nice guy. I only scheduled for the call for 30 minutes, but we talked for a whole freaking hour. Takeaways from meeting up with a Googler was that they use Figma. Looking at my notes, he recommended this book, and he shared his experience. I feel like a lot of graphic designers moved into the UX UI field by accident. Like, he also said that when he was doing it, he wasn't exactly 100% sure what exactly he was doing, but he was making wireframes and he ended up doing like 20 different apps, etc, etc. I don't want to like share too much info because that's his personal experience and his story. So yeah, overall a lot of like UI experience. So more and more when I shared about what I'm doing at my work, he said that my boss is doing a really good job in teaching me. He said that it seems like that person knows what he or she is doing, and so it made me feel really thankful to be working with my boss because she told me to focus on UI first and get better at UI. Yeah, learning a lot of different things, and it's really reassuring to hear from another fellow designer, especially from somewhere like Google, to say that it seems like my experience currently is doing really good. And he was like, oh, are you getting paid? And I'm like, yes, yes. He even opened up the floor to just like mention that for any future questions or projects that I have, even like learning how to do Figma, I could reach out to him. And I was like, oh my god, you're so nice. But overall, it seemed like he was having fun talking to me too, so I'm glad. And I think the one question that I was really curious about is, I've noticed that a lot of experienced designers have their own side gig or freelance projects apart from their full-time work, whether if it's like kind of like DesignLab, like being a mentor, or again doing a freelance work, helping a startup, etc. I was curious about time management. Like, so many of the designers are like working and doing a lot of these things, and so I just kind of asked him about his experience, and he was like, yeah, like basically we don't have lives. But I'm pretty sure he was kidding. Maybe half and half. Because I honestly feel like sometimes I don't have a life either, just from doing DesignLab, working, and networking like this, while trying to help my family. So there's that. So I kind of feel him in a certain extent if this is going to be my future. I did ask him about coding too, and he honestly said that, you know, I don't need to know how to code. I mean, if you want to like spend sleepless hours of coding all night, by all means, he's like, go ahead, but those are my darkest times. And yeah, he was like, honestly, you don't need to. That's what he said. Take it however you want. Oh, you know, I mentioned that there were some case studies in his portfolio that was interesting, and I was really wishing that he can talk about it, and they were password protected. And he was like, well, to be honest, they're kind of old, but if you want to check them out, I could give you the passwords. I was like, really? That's great. So I sent him a follow-up email after I washed up and just told him that I got the book that he recommended. I honestly didn't have the heart to tell him that I already have the books that he recommended me. And so I just said I got him. And yeah, so after I mentioned that, I thanked him for his time. Should there be another call, then we can use whatever platform he prefers with, because it seemed like Zoom wasn't optimal for him. He was recommending Google Hangouts, which I should have known since he works for freaking Google. Like, you gotta be strategic too about reaching out to people. You don't just reach out like random and submit a connect request without any context. He even said that because I mentioned that I'm a student at DesignLab, he responded back to me because he also gets requests from like other people, I guess, and he just felt like a little bit more of like a connection just because we have DesignLab together. Hasn't responded back to me in a while, and so I was kind of like, okay, maybe he forgot about me, and I'm like, that's fine. And so you kind of have to be okay with that too, because ultimately they're doing you a favor. Like, you can't be like demand. So whenever they have the time, right? And I understand like he might just be busy because, you know, life happens. It's 2020 and anything can go wrong, or maybe work wise he's just, you know, overloaded. So there's that too. And thankfully he got back to me and was like, sorry, like, you know, stuff happened. And I'm like, no, it's all good. I feel very encouraged after talking to him. So I feel very encouraged, motivated, and inspired. I figured out an easier way to network, guys. If you are a student at DesignLab, use that as your advantage. Like, this whole time, I feel like as a student, I've been saying like, use being a student as your advantage. Like, when you go to events and they require like a fee and you have to pay for a ticket, try to reach out to the event coordinators or the support team, whatever, and mention that you're a student and if there's any discount. And most of the time you'll get it for free. When you go on the DesignLab website, you'll be able to see a whole list of all the mentors. It doesn't really specify exactly what they teach unless they've been teaching for a long period of time. You can see a list of their students. But for this case, for example, this Googler, I don't think he's been teaching for a while, so he didn't have any list of students yet. But I still reached out to him, and lo and behold, I found out he doesn't teach UXA, but he teaches the short courses. But still, I wanted to just, you know, get his experience story and learn any tips and tricks from him. So for brief context, I just mentioned, hi, my name is Estie. I'm a student at DesignLab's UXA Academy. I saw your mentor profile on their website and came across your portfolio, and I find it really interesting and inspiring. I'm specifically interested in your case studies, and do you teach UXA? Like, something to lead into your actual interest. I wouldn't say like lay out your whole like what you want from them like right away. I think it's good to like leave it off as like a good conversation starter. The more I connect with people on social media platforms, I realize that it's really important when you connect with someone to provide some context of like why you want to connect with them, especially on LinkedIn, because they could really, if they don't know you, then it's like, why did you reach out to them? Like, they don't know why. Like, you might have just made a mistake and clicked connect for all they know.